Hello and welcome back to another Thrifty Crafts. This is the first in a series that I'm doing for a Kickstarter that allowed me to buy the camera I'm filming with right now. So I really want to say thank you to my pal Landan right off the bat. I'm making the White Spire from the Greetings Adventurers podcast out of insulation foam, cardboard, and just like a crap load of glue. I glued the foam together and now I'm adding texture. This is a pretty good start, but I want it to look more like a mountain and less like a cake. So I'm gluing little bits of foam to the base to really crag it up. I'm also trying to obscure the seams. And I threw in some real rocks just for fun. If you're wondering what the White Spire is, well, let me tell you. In the first campaign for the Greetings Adventurers podcast, back when it was called Drunks and Dragons, a faction of benevolent wizards built a series of White Spires across the lands that they could teleport between, sort of like D&D fast travel. Now it's time for the classic coating of Mod Podge and black paint. This is going to seal the base and it's also going to give it a lot more strength. So I cut a hole in this sturdy roll of cardboard and cut some divots into another one. Aluminum foil rolls have the best cardboard in my opinion. Glued in place, this should give the tower some more girth at the base. Then I'm filling in this overhang with some air dry clay. This stuff cracks a lot when it's dry, but I'm going for kind of like a weathered, broken down look anyway, so that's kind of perfect for my needs. And I'm using some dollar store foam core to make the roof of the lower tower. Wanted to make sure this fit just right. Let's go back to when I said girth earlier. In an effort to make this tower a little less phallic, I thought, I'd add a second little wizardy tower jutting out of the main tower. Since I didn't really have the right size tube, I just sort of improvised. What better way to shoehorn Wrexham into this video than with a recycled lager can? Wizard architecture needs these goofy bends, so I'll just add this extra bit. It's looking quite solid now. So time to add some details. This place definitely needs an entrance. I'm just winging it here, so I cut this foam to size. After adding some details, I thought I'd actually go back to the air-dried clay and sculpt an entrance. And while we're at it, nothing is going to stick to this aluminum, so I add a bunch of air-dried clay to the arm. I was just kind of on a roll at this point. This looks like a crown, and it's going to continue to look like a crown for a while. More details are being added on. And to crown it off, there's going to be a big teleportation platform on the roof. So I'm putting that together. And I'll cap off the arm while I'm at it. This kind of looks like a roof. You know what? Let's mess with some more air dry clay. I made this little brick roller out of Sculpey, and it does a pretty nice job. You just put down a little white glue first, but wallpapering with these little sheets of brick texture is super fun. Now, if you're going to be crafting, you need a ton of little bins full of metal bits and bobs. So I've decided hoops would be good windows and entrances, so let's glue them on there. Once that is set, it's time for more black paint and Mod Podge. This is really the only reason I can use the crumbly air dry clay. This will definitely keep it together. And now we're ready for paint. I'm just working on some base coats first. And then I'm applying a black wash to the entire piece. The reason I use a thin wash like this is the paint goes right into all the crevices and really brings out the texture of the brick. I'm doing some dry brushing here to further bring out the highlights. And since this is the White Spire, I'm going extra heavy on the white. Definitely enjoying these windows. They seem appropriate for a wizard tower. This portal needs to be a little more mystical, so I thought some UV resin would be a good start. I'm sandwiching some bright red bits into the resin so that it looks like it's floating in the air. Time to work on the base, so I'm covering the entire thing with watered down white glue and then giving it a good coating of literal dirt. You need a landing for the entrance, and I think a little deck right here would be fun, so I'm making it out of wood. And for that wood, I'm cutting up coffee stir sticks. And there it is, a nice little landing. Who's ready for some flocking? So I'm adding little bushes and rocks to the base. I also want to add some vines creeping up the tower to make it feel like it's just been there for ages. You can buy flocking that's made to look like vines, but I'm out, so I'm improvising again. Occasionally, non-wizards are going to make the trip up here, so there needs to be a nice safe path for folks to follow. I've gone back to coffee stir sticks to build this walkway. There we go. Could also be some good cardio running up this guy, but the hillside is still way too naked. All right, now it's starting to look like something. Now the flocking that I am using is still like little bushes and stuff that you would get at your local craft store. Go local if you can, folks. That's right, I'm painting bushes. It's not weird. There needs to be a shadow in here, and paint is a normal thing to put on a bush. I haven't forgotten about you, little tower. I just need to decide what you're gonna be. Let's get back to flocking. Wait, no, I decided it's gonna be an airy. And this little guy has been sitting on my desk for ages, so it's time for him to get into the action. This still looks like a crown, so I'm just gonna keep gluing stuff to it. And I think that's it. Actually, I think maybe a rogue fireball went off right at the end there. Yeah, then let's call it. And it's time for some glamour shots. Let me start off by thanking my buddy Landan again. He's also a good friend. I'd also like to thank these particular folks from my Patreon. Thanks, gang. Without you, again, I don't think I could have made this. You know, you can actually sign up for free if you want to go over to patreon.com/thriftycrafts. You get regular updates, early video releases, and even see your name in one of these videos potentially. And I stream fairly regularly, so if you want to come and actually have a chat, hit that subscribe button, and then you can be notified when you can come and say hi. All right, thanks again for joining me, and I'll see you next time.